What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there pulling in pot after pot. Just finished up a Sunday tournament session. Played 3 of the OSS cubed events, which started up today. Super excited about that. Cashed in all 3 of them. Got in a lot of interesting spots. We've got some good poker to look at in this video. Let's get into it. First hand we're looking at is Ace-King suited. I was working on setting up the Hold'em manager. I was having some issues today with that and had to use the table finder to make sure that the HUD was showing up for each tournament. It was interesting. I'm not exactly sure what was going on with that, but I did get it to work, which you will see in the upcoming hands. But here we have Ace-King suited. We have a raise from under the gun +2. It's a min raise, and I 3-bet in the cutoff to 900. This is in a $22 MOSS number 3, 30K guaranteed, and I wind up flopping the nut flush. Perfect way to start out the tournament session, and we get a call on the flop. We are beyond pot committed. I'm trying to figure out bet sizing so that we can get this player to commit his entire stack so that we can double up in this tournament. I bet 14.25 on the turn. There is now almost 7,000. We have 13.55 behind. I figure there's no way he's going to be folding here, and he does find the fold button. Not sure how that happened. Maybe he was chasing a flush with a queen of clubs or something like that. But the very next hand, we have pocket aces in the hijack seat. Gotta love when that happens in tournaments. Ace-King, flop the nuts, then aces the very next hand. So we make it 675 to go. It's 2.5x, and it actually folds all the way around, and we pick up just the blinds and antes on that one. But we'll take it. Same tournament. The MOSS number 3, we have queens on the button. Our stack is at 8,300 chips right now. We get a min raise from the player to our right. We're going to be 3-betting here on the button. I make it 1,200 to go. The small blind makes a fold. You can see I got the HUD back up and running. Don't have a lot of information on any of these players quite yet, but the player to our right does jam all in, and I make a call with the queens. We were up against Ace-King, pretty much a coin flip there, and we wind up picking up that pot. Next hand we're looking at is King-Jack. We are at a 6-handed table. This is the MOSS number 4, 1K guaranteed, $2.20 buy-in. If you guys want to be playing in these tournaments as well, the link is down in the video description for America's Card Room. You can go down there, check out the tournament schedule, sign up through that link. If you do sign up, use promo code DKPoker. You'll get a $1,000 deposit bonus as well as 50 tournament bucks, which you can use for these tournaments. So we get a jam from the small blind, who is a loose player, high VPIP. It's 1060 to call. There's 1650 in the pot right here. I was thinking about the fold, and I see his numbers and think this is a pretty fishy player, so I do make the call. He shows 7s against King-Jack. That's a coin flip. We wind up hitting our jack on the river and pick up a pot right there. A lot of these tournaments are re-entry tournaments, so many of the players are playing pretty loose in the first couple hours of these tournaments, and when you're using a HUD like Hold'em Manager, it's pretty easy to pick up who these players are and which ones are sitting back and waiting for the good hands and which ones are going to be betting with mediocre hands and just rebuying time after time. Next hand we're looking at is Ace-Jack offsuit. We make a raise in middle position to 875. We get a call from the small blind. Flop is jack high, 2-tone. The small blind leads out for half pot. I jam all in. I'm pretty much pot committed here, and we have top pair, top kicker. He shows Ace-King. He had a couple outs going into the river, but he winds up missing those, and we double up right there. Next hand we're looking at is Ace-King offsuit under the gun. We are playing in the MOSS number 1, 2,000 guaranteed, $1.10 buy-in tournament. Figuring out a bet size right now. I make it 1,115 chips to go. We get a jam from under the gun +2. Player's got a relatively high 3-bet percentage finished so far in this tournament. I'm going to be making a call here. It is a little bit more than 5,800 to call into a pot of over 9,100. He shows fours, and we wind up losing that pot. You can see how loose some of these players play in the small buy-in tournaments like this. It's pretty crazy, and if you play well and you can sit back and wait for big hands, you can build a really big chip stack early in these tournaments when everyone is just rebuying like crazy. Now we have pocket queens. This is the $22 buy-in, 30k guaranteed. We have a min raise from Lucky Town in Under the Gun, and I make a jam on the button with the pocket queens. The blinds fold, and he does make a call. It is ace 5 suited we're up against, and we wind up hitting quads on the flop. Gotta love when that happens. Now we have pocket threes. This is not one of the OSS series tournaments. This is the Big Ten 2,500 guaranteed. We have a min raise Under the Gun and a call from Under the Gun +1. We just make a call here in middle position with the pocket threes. The big blind comes along as well. We wind up flopping bottom set. Under the Gun leads out for half pot. This is a pretty easy call. We're gonna be slow playing this one. We have a huge hand, not many draws out there. There are a couple more draws now, but the way that this player is playing, he probably has something like ace king, ace queen. So I do jam on the turn with the flush draws out there. He winds up showing ace 4. He didn't have any, he actually did have outs to the 5 going into the river, but not much going on there. Now we have pocket nines in the big blind. This is the 2k guaranteed. We wind up flopping middle set. I just checked back, pretty draw heavy board. I see this player has a 100% fold to flop bet and 33% bet. He does make a check though. I bet the turn about 2/3 of the pot, and he makes a call. If he had the hard draw, he just got there. The 8 got there for a straight. I bet a little bit smaller than half pot, kind of a blocker bet there with the middle set, and he makes a call. We wind up picking up that pot. That one helps out. Not sure exactly what he had on that hand. Next hand we're looking at is ace 9 offsuit. We get a limp from the small blind into us. This is the 6-handed tournament. This is a great spot to try to make a steal back into this player. Ace 9 plays well too in position against this player, and he makes a call. We wind up flopping top pair, top kicker. There's 34 in the pot. I'm thinking of a bet sizing right now. I make it 19.25 to go, and he jams all in. I think this is a pretty easy call. I didn't really hesitate at all. He shows jack 7. He pretty much just bluffed that one and doubled us up. Thank you for that. Now we're back to the Big Ten tournament. We have pocket jacks in the cutoff. Under the Gun limped. I make it 3 times his bet, and the button jams all in. And if this player, the kid himself, doesn't jam like he does right here, I'm gonna call Mithrander New York. But the kid himself was slow playing something, and he totally gave it away when he jammed right there. It's either aces or kings. I've seen this play a million times. You guys cannot be doing that with aces and kings. I know right away I can get rid of the jacks. He does show kings. I cannot believe people make that play. Now we have ace king. This is the 6-handed table again. We're in the cutoff. I'm going to be making a raise here. I make it 17.75 to go. Our chip stack is getting pretty low at this point. I think we already got knocked out of the 30k guaranteed. I made like $33 or $34 on that one. My computer actually crashed as I jammed all in. So I jammed all in, reloaded my computer, and I was knocked out of the tournament. No idea what happened. I was getting low on chips and made a move with king blank suited, but the button raises into our ace king here, and this is a pretty easy jam for us. We get it all in, and he winds up making a call with pocket 5s, and he hit his straight. That hand sucked, thinking about re-entering, and I do. Now we have pocket kings in the big blind. Folds to the button, who jams all in. You know what we're going to be doing here with the pocket kings, but we also get a raise from the small blind, and this guy's been playing crazy aggressive, crazy loose. I'm over here checking where we are. I think we're like 2 or 3 from the money, but you can't be playing for the money. Gotta be playing for that final table, which is what I do. I make a call and wind up tripling up right there. Same tournament. Now we have ace king offsuit from Under the Gun. Raised to 3,300. Folds around to the small blind. He does make a fold, and the big blind calls. calls. There's now 8,300 in the pot. We have 1630 behind. The big blind jams all in. This is a pretty easy call. Top pair, top kicker, very dry board. Ace King's gonna be good a lot there. He has a gut shot, winds up missing it. This guy was playing crazy. Tons of just jamming. Wish I could have stayed at the table with him longer. I can't remember if he got knocked out shortly thereafter or I was switched table. One of the two. But now my chip stack is at 2,800. I have 10 jack diamonds in the cutoff. Going to be making a steal here. We have tight players to our left. Pretty high fold to steal percentages from everybody. We had just made the money at this point. 348 is the payoff if we were to get knocked out right now. Folds around to the big blind who jams all in. It is 9,600 to call into a pot of over 20,000. We're getting incredible odds here. I have to make a call with the jack 10, even though it does mean our stack will be much lower. And he winds up having ace queen suited. We still have tons of outs there against that hand. I'm not upset with that play. The very next hand though, we have ace jack suited. We get a min raise from under the gun, and right now we have to be making plays. I think this is a pretty easy spot to be jamming with ace jack suited, trying to double up against this player who just makes a min raise, and we're in a perfect spot against king deuce, same suit, clubs. He winds up hitting kings. We lose that pot, get taken out in 128th. That hurts. Can't believe he called with king deuce there, or that he was even raising with king deuce in under the gun. But as you guys can see, these tournaments have a lot of fish in them, a lot of great spots to make some money. I cashed in 3 out of the 4 that I played today. Now we have pocket kings in the small blind. Folds around to us. Blinds and antes are at 1,000. I make it 1,200 to go into the big blind. He jams all in. Kings are getting in every time. We are up against queens, and we wind up doubling up right there. Made it pretty deep in that tournament, the Big Ten tournament as well, but we'll get into that in a second. Now I have ace queen offsuit, under the gun +1, make a raise to 875, a little bit larger than 2x. We get a call from the button. We have 30 hands on this player, pretty high bet percentage, has won his only showdown that we've seen so far, but we wind up flopping an ace, 2,800 in the pot. We both have about 13,000 behind us. I check back the flop with our very strong hand. The turn is a queen. We now have top 2 pair. Going to put in a bet now, trying to figure out a good bet sizing that this player could call. I make it 1601 to go, a little bit larger than half pot, and he makes a call. So he probably has aces, queens, or the flush draw. The flush draw just hit. I'm going to put in a bet size that aces or queens are going to be calling with. And if we get raised now, we know that he hit his flush and we can easily get away from it. And he did make the call. Now we're looking at ace king offsuit from the button. Big Ten tournament as well. We get an all-in from the cutoff player. I think this is a pretty easy spot to be calling with ace king. We have pretty short stacks to our left in the blinds, and we pick up a pot right there, knock that player out. Next hand we're looking at is pocket tens. Big Ten tournament as well, 2,500 guaranteed. You can see our chip stack was building up at this point, and we get a jam from the cutoff player. 69 and change to call into a 9,200 pot. I think he's just trying to make a steal play here, and I do make a call, and he was trying to steal. He has queen 10 suited, spades. He has a spade draw going in the river, and he hits his straight on the river and beats us. That one hurt. We are now down to 1,400, and a couple hands later I'm down to a little bit over 1,200 in chips, and we have ace king suited. I make a raise to 1,625. Badu jank 3 bets, a little bit larger than twice the size of my open bet, and I jam all in here. It's like 9,000 more for him to call, and he does make the call with ace jack suited. We're in a great spot again with the ace king suited, but he hits his jack on the flop, and we wind up getting knocked out of that tournament in 94th place. I think we were like 20 for the money in that one. Just ran into some shit luck at the end of it. What are you going to do though? But more than doubled my money on all the other tournaments. tournaments, 3 caches so far in the OSS series. Hopefully we can make a deep run in one of these series events. If you want America's Card Room or Hold'em Manager, the links are down in the video description along with all of the poker products that I use. If you have not hit that subscribe button yet, make sure you do that. Great videos coming out daily. Hit the like button if you guys enjoyed the video. I'll be back very soon with a new video, but until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felts.